By way of introduction, Bruce Brown, Paparazzi Restaurant, 4315 Wall Street, Peoria Heights. Last week, we celebrated a bit of an anniversary. On February 12th, 1983, we took possession of the vacant Peoria Color Lab to create a restaurant. We've never bought an ad in coming on 32 years. There's never been a better time to do business in Peoria Heights. I want to mention a couple of things that a little bit familiar with TIF districts. I had the pleasure in 1973 of being the second youngest member elected to the Peoria City Council in the history of the city at the time. TIF districts came in and served 2 terms. I'm a little bit familiar with them. And I sense in listening to some of the questions that people are a little nervous about it, that TIF has become a 4-letter word to a lot of folks. And it need not be. Part of your concern is some projects outside this jurisdiction that didn't work. Everybody's familiar with one in particular. It cleared 2 city blocks, built a grocery store and a little strip mall, and of course of doing, put 2 other grocery stores out of business. One of them down the street that had been in business since 1934. And then the new project, the grocery store, and that new project ended up closing. I could name 6 or 8 or 10 or other ones, but I came here tonight for 2 reasons. There's an element in this whole project that needs to be emphasized, and that is the sharing with the school district, and it's been mentioned here. This is a development project just for Peoria Heights and economic development, and the school district gets left out, then all of Peoria Heights and Paparazzi and all the businesses are a loser. And I need to tell you that the project that I just mentioned that was a failure did not participate in the school district. As a matter of fact, most, if not all of them, in that other jurisdiction, none of them participated with the school district. But I would ask you to elevate your gaze a little bit across the Illinois River. Because when the city of East Peoria started TIF districts many years ago along the riverfront, they knew, as has been mentioned here, that in order for this to work, there had to be a partnership with the schools. And the very first TIF district East Peoria had established that partnership. Economic development out the window, if you don't have your schools, you have nothing. You do not have a community. And I would tell you that because the East Peoria City Council commissioners and mayor were able to do that, some years down the road, and I'm not advocating it here, but some years down the road, a few years back, they were able to pass a half-cent sales tax for the 2 school districts. Let me tell you what that's done. There's a surplus in the fund. A new addition has been built to East Peoria High School with no cost to the school district. Pick a number, 8, 10, 12 computer labs have been built in the grade schools over there at no cost to grade schools. And I know that looking here, there are people that have lived in this area for a long time, and many of us remember what East Peoria used to look like. And look at it now. That's my first point. Congratulations for including the school districts in what you're doing here. It's vitally important. Let me bring you to the second point. It's really why I came here tonight. You know, as I'm standing here, and you've seen them too, some runners passing by on this cold night. In the summer of 1976, I had a guy by the name of Bill Rutherford come to me and talk to me about the concept of a Rock Island Trail that would go from Toulon all the way through Peoria Heights to downtown Peoria and across the river. Almost 40 years ago. Almost 40 years ago. And one of the things he said to me is, Bruce Brown, can you imagine what that trail will do for our Peoria Heights? Rutherford was a Peoria Heights guy. He's responsible for this building and the way it looks. He had a vision. And that's what this is about here tonight. There's a $16 million bridge crossing Knoxville, the Rock Island Trail, so that you can understand the depth of our commitment to that trail. On one side of Knoxville, the bottled water company, on the smallest level, they said, you know what, we're going to open our private restrooms to the people who use the trail, And we're in the bottled water company. If anybody needs bottled water, they can have it for free. On the other side, you may notice the steel structure there. I went by today. Bushwhacker is moving out of a very successful location in the Metro Center, built a brand new location next to the Rock Island Trail. This is the vision for Peoria Heights. I'm here to support enthusiastically the Treskers project. Small businessman, coming on 32, 33 years. You have the opportunity to bring one of the platinum 5-star businesses up the street from the city of Peoria to within 12 or 15 paces of the Rock Island Trail. You have the opportunity to renew a building, the Hobart Building, the old bicycle factory, whatever you want to call it, a central Illinois landmark, to make it a showplace for all of Peoria Heights. This does not happen by accident. This is the critical mass that Mr. Rutherford was talking about. This is the mass that's created the restaurants down the street. There's never been a better time to be here. The revenue that those restaurants and we bring to Peoria Heights don't lower your taxes, but they help keep them down. So my point in being here tonight is to speak in support of the Treskers project. I think it's one of the greatest bits of news that I've heard in many years other than this Rock Island Trail. That I hope you support it. I hope you give it your hand. I hope you give it your help. I hope you give it your voice. I hope you give it your vote. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Just real quick, Derek Keith, superintendent of schools, and I want to thank you for everything you just said, Mr. Brown, because this would only work if we sat down, the mayor and I, and Mr. Fick, and both boards, and Mr. Walden and everybody. This is going to be a huge help to the school district. It's going to be a huge help to this village, and we're 100% behind it. So, thank you.
My question is this. You talked about how you designed the TIF district. Are you going to change any of these properties into commercial property that are now zoned residential?
We don't have any plan in front of us right now. I have not had any direction to that effect. In fact, in our discussion with the school district, we're actually kind of trying to discourage that somewhat because we want to preserve the limited housing stock that Peoria Heights has. Because you don't have a lot of room to grow. Where are you going to grow? As far as any substantial residential development. So we want to try to preserve, improve on what is here. And unless there are some other, new kinds of residential developments that would help achieve these goals within the limited area that we have, we might try to seek some of that, but, I think that kind of in summary, our primary goals that I'm aware of at this point would be to encourage and incentivize the type of commercial development that Mr. Brown was talking about. And then secondly, to try to preserve and enhance the residential properties that are here at this point. Whether there's something that happens in between there, I can't say, I can't guarantee, the village can't guarantee that there would never be a residential property acquired for a commercial purpose, but that's not the intent or the focus of this plan. And as the plan evolves, we'll kind of look at some special language in there to try to address that question, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. So it's kind of the best non-answer I can give you at this point. Okay, Mayor, anything else? Okay, I think hopefully we'll see you back in April or shortly after that. You'll receive notices and see it in the paper as far as the next public hearing. Thank you all for coming. Okay.